Now I want to do some examples with you. I would urge you not to skip over these examples. Stay with me. Work through all the examples with me. You'll be glad you did when you get ready to do some homework. So let me start with this one. And one thing you might want to try is once you see the problem, just pause your computer and see if you could start it yourself. And then when you're finished or you get stuck, hit play and see how I work the problem. So we'll kind of start simple here. We'll start with example 1. We will do 3 to the 4th squared. So what this means is I have 3 to the 4th times 3 to the 4th. So I have 3 times 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 3. So it ends up then that I have 3 to the 8th power. Now anytime we have just a number to a power, we want to go ahead and simplify that. So you can either type in 3 times itself 8 times, or you can use the caret key on your calculator. I'm going to grab a calculator. So if you have a graphing calculator, you can practice using it. So I want to practice typing in 3 to the 8th power. So I'm going to type in 3. And then when I want to type into the 8th power, I'm going to use the caret key, which is right above the division sign. And you can see how that moves that up then. So you can get it out of the glare. See how it moves the cursor up to the exponent spot. So now I'm just going to type in 8 and then hit enter. And I get 6,561. So anytime it's a number to a power, go ahead and simplify it. All right, here's example 2. Again, it'd probably be good to pause it, see where you would start. 5/8 to the 3rd power. So anytime I have a fraction to a power, I can take each one of those numbers to that power. So I have 5 to the 3rd power over 8 to the 3rd power. So in my calculator, I'm going to type in 5 caret key 3 and see what I get, and that's 125. You should practice this on your calculator. And 8 caret key 3, which is 512. Now, this isn't going to be able to be reduced because the fraction that I started with couldn't be reduced. So I know that I'm finished. These examples are going to get a little harder as we go. The third example. I'm going to do 2 here. Negative 2 to the negative 3 power and negative 2 to the negative 3 power, because I want you to see the difference. Notice on this problem, the only thing that I'm taking to the negative 3 power is the 2. On this other example, what I'm taking to the negative 3 power is this whole thing. So on this problem, since this is to a negative power, I know it's going to be 1 over 2 to the positive 3 power. And then this negative is just going to stay out in the front. So the answer to this one would be negative 1 over 8. Okay, take a look at this one. This whole thing is going to be to the negative power. So it's going to be 1 over negative 2 to the positive 3 power, which will be 1 over negative 8. Now it looks like that's the same, but whenever this exponent is an even number, it'll change your answer just a little bit. Okay, let's do this one. Negative 2 to the negative 3 times negative 2 to the 9th. So I've got a couple things going on here. First of all, these are the same base. So there's a couple of ways you can do this problem. If you want to, you can notice these have the same base, so you can add the exponents. So negative 3 plus 9 would be 6. I have negative 2 to the 6th power. And if you plug that into your calculator, you got to make sure that you put the negative in parentheses, because it's the negative 2 that you're doing 6 times. So when you put that in the calculator, you need parentheses, and you will get 64. If you get negative 64 in your calculator, that means you didn't put this in parentheses. The other way you could work this problem is, since this is a negative exponent, I could have 1 over negative 2 to the positive 3 times negative 2 to the 9th. And then I could notice I have 3 of these on bottom, 9 of these on top. So these 3 are going to cancel with 3 of those and leave me 6 of them. So I would have negative 2 to the 6th power, which is 64. Notice you could work that same problem 2 different ways and come up with the same answer. All right, let's do this one. Going to get a little harder. RS squared over parenthesis RS to the negative 1 cubed. See if you composite and think about how you would start this one. So a couple of different things you could do. The first thing you need to do is take each thing in the bottom to the 3rd power. So the top is going to stay the same, RS squared. And the bottom is going to be R to the 3rd, S to the negative 3rd, because you have to take the negative 1 times the 3. Now, since this has a negative exponent, I'm going to move it to the top. So I'm going to have R S squared S cubed over R cubed. Now I'm ready to combine and cancel. One of these R's will cancel one of those R's and leave me R to the 2nd on the bottom, down in the denominator. Here I have S times S times S times S times S. So I have 5 S's. There are other ways to work that problem, so if you worked it a different way and you still got this answer, it's all good. You don't have to do it my way.